I love Magic the Gathering. I hate beating people. There's a weird phenomenon within a certain group that winning the game, or even beating opponents too harshly, feels too mean, and I'm within that group. That's how Group Hug emerged. It's an archetype built on helping your opponents to curry favor through card draw, land drops, tokens, and other goodies. Hopefully, through heavy interaction and politicking by helping your enemies but helping yourself even more, that level of guilt is diminished, especially with your friends being given more resources to play their deck so they're having more fun too. It's a win-win. What could go wrong? Well, for an archetype called Group Hug, people sure do hate playing against it. Oftentimes, Group Hug provides disproportionate advantages, stalling out the game, and overall being a weird limbo to play against, where they aren't ever a real threat, but more of a lingering force. Along with Group Hug not having an inherent win con, it is a deck type that almost relies on getting second place. It needs to not be the focus of attention, so it plays a middle of the pack game, unless it pulls off a cool combo or pillow forts to a group slug victory. But at that point, why not play a combo or pillow fort commander? That's the paradox. Group Hug is a deck that doesn't want to win, and that's what I want to focus on. How can we utilize Group Hug to help minimize abnormal player guilt while still being competitive, yet kind and fun to play against? So let me introduce you to the new and improved Group Hug 2. In Group Hug 2, we have 3 simple rules. 1, we do not believe in equality. 2, we commit crimes. And 3, we play for fun and we play to win. Looking at the first rule, it's often the biggest point of contention that comes to Group Hug: symmetrical effects. These decks will often run cards like Quain, Tidal Barracuda, or Helm of Awakening, effects that help each player often through mana cheating or card draw. Sometimes the phrase, if everyone is rich, then no one is rich, is used in this context. If everyone draws a card, it's like no one drew a card. That's not true though. The player farther ahead will be able to utilize the advantage better than their opponents. That's the problem with symmetrical effects. You're not just hugging those who need it, but also those who greed it, making the gap between first and last even greater. That's why, instead of cards that have an equal effect like Tempt with Discovery, replacing them with cards that largely benefit those behind to increase politics while not letting others snowball is needed. Examples are Brina the Demagogue, Gore Muldrak, or Frang Line, that although put a passive effect on each player, it is really only beneficial to those who are lagging behind. So although it may not look like you're picking favorites because it's a universal effect, you very much are, making you look like the good guy while still controlling the board in your favor. It should be stated though, sometimes universal effects that do get the game moving are important, especially those that can be turned off at will once you're in first place, such as Lore Broker that can simply not be tapped when you're in the lead, combat trigger effects like Jolene that aren't snowbally but still take the pressure away from you, or even a simple instant like Everybody Lives that allows players to take a breather and continue. Having the ability to control the flow of the help is extremely important in controlling player power level. However, not all affections should be universal. That's where the second rule comes in. We are committing crimes. Group Hug is all about influencing the interactions you have with your opponents to curry favor with them. However, symmetrical effects can only go so far, and heavily rely on your own opponent's initiative rather than your own. But sometimes you gotta ask, where my hug at? Yet at times, targeted effects can either feel too mean or kingmakery, two emotions we are trying to avoid. For one player, counterspelling a 7-mana card might feel euphoric, but to the average Group Hug player, it feels like they're shooting your dog in the head. There are some clever ways to get around this problem though. Removal like Arcane Denial, Spurn Mage Advocate, or Fractured Identity. Removal cards that still put the opponent behind, but negate some of the guilt by sharing the love to someone else or to that same opponent. Targeted Group Hug is where it gets a weird thin line though. Giving someone an artifact that completely snowballs them without any way of stopping it is very scary. Finding single-use cards that highly benefit you and an opponent can feel great though. Cards like Secret Rendezvous, Scheming Symmetry, or Bounty Board that have strong effects but have huge downsides because they're standard format making, but turn out just great in a format like Commander. The Hunted line is a great example of this. One of my favorite cards like Hunted Horror, Kleckerbid's Troll, or Sylvan Offering are amazing cards that can really boost you and an opponent into the game or lead. However, this is often a trap people go down when looking at these cards. There is a Predator list in Group Hug 2 that has threatened the happiness of many tables. Cards like Yes Man, Humble Defector, and Wish Claw Talisman often have the hope of, me and this opponent will just keep passing it back and forth and get super powerful. There is not a single universe where this has ever happened. Do not fall for it. You can put Yes Man in every deck and he will always break up with you. You will never see him again and he will always benefit the opponent more than you. They are not allowed in Group Hug 2. Instead of falling for the predators, however, you should become the predator. There are a certain line of Group Hug cards that are often conditional effects that you get to choose what happens to each opponent. Cards like Glunch the Bestower, Flumph, or Duelist Heritage, where people will instead come to you begging to be hugged and offering up their own resources or alliance in favor of it. In a deck that's all about giving unconditionally, it does sometimes feel nice to be asked or negotiated for a gift time to time. It's a sign that your opponents truly love you as they threaten to kill you if you don't give them a good Glunch trigger. For the final rule, and the most difficult, how do we turn giving our opponents benefits into winning the game? This is the biggest groan when you're told you're being against a Group Hug deck, because it often just prolongs games with life gain and pillow fort techniques without any real threat. So we need to find a way to win the game that actually makes us feel good. Cards like Approach of the Second Sun or Trisca della Viol may be able to pinch out games but never quite feel good, or synchronous with the deck as a whole. Win cons that are built around building your opponents up are practically impossible to find, but there are some unique workarounds. With a Group Hug player, there are often more creatures on your opponent's board, making goad effects like Taunt from the Rampart or Insurrection, or exchangeable effects like Role Reversal, where we are taking the resources our opponents were able to use because of our support and using it against them. It's not just creatures though. Turning the cards they have in their own hand against them is also viable. Cards like Stormseeker, Black Vise, or Sword of War and Peace, dealing damage based on the amount of cards they have in their hand. Yet, sometimes the best win cons aren't your own. Theft effects like Mind's Dilation, Stolen Strategy, or Chaos Wand can help mitigate the guilt by your opponents still seeing their cool cards in play, just not on their own field. These cards play perfectly into the Group Hug dynamic and lessen the guilt of killing your enemies because at least you're able to do it with their own cards. I do want to emphasize though, the point of Group Hug 2 isn't for it to be competitively viable, but a deck with no edge can often fall flat for other players to fight against and dampen the fun. With that being said, Commander is a casual format, and Group Hug was an archetype made to be fun. Run those wedding rings, expert level safes, and off-nabbed goats. That's because the best way for people to have a good time and boost morale is simply by playing cards you like that you think are fun. At the end of the day, that is what's most important. So if I swear I see another Group Hug deck that's just another stacks combo in disguise, my culture is not your costume. Oh my gosh, thank you for watching. Follow my Twitter and subscribe. Thank you!